everybody, it's Tina. Welcome to my video. Welcome to my live. This is going to go directly onto YouTube right when I'm done here creating because I want to chat with you guys about the new product that's out this month, and it's only while supplies last, so I don't want to wait to put this video up. Hey, Chris. So right when I'm done here, I'm going to stick this on YouTube. But I also will have another video up today just for my regular website. Hey, Linda. Thank you for sharing my video today. Can you guys believe all these colors? We're going to use all of them because I am excited. We're going to make 2 cards today. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to do, so I thought, let's just do both. Hey, Julie. Yay, I'm so glad, Linda, you're catching me live here. Let me know, you guys, if the lighting is okay. Hey, Mom. I was just thinking about you, Mom, because I made some lemon chicken last night, and then I got some pasta and then some peas and that dressing that we like, and that's what I'm having for lunch today, and I was thinking about you. The lemon chicken came out really good. I don't cook. It's not my favorite thing in the world to do, but sometimes you have to. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a couple things. The first thing is I've gotten orders from Stampin' Up! This week, but you guys, they've all been boring. This is just a couple. But really, all I've gotten this week is envelopes. I've gotten a total of 8 packs of envelopes this week. And then I had to order a bunch of cardstock, and it's come in a couple different orders. I had to get cherry cobbler and real red and basic black, and then this is gray granite. I think all together I've gotten 11 packs of cardstock this week, and thank goodness, because I was running out of the Regals a ton because of all the stuff that I've been doing. Okay, so should we start with the colorful? So this is going to be one card, these colors, and then this is going to be another, Bermuda Bay and Whisper White. So which one should we start with? Should we start with the colorful, or should we start with the Bermuda Bay one? So while you guys are chiming in where we're going to start, I want to show you a couple things. First thing is I have my mini Thankful album. This is something that I'm doing with my membership group. I have a membership group. It's $10 a month. We do all of, like, basically all of my project life stuff and the documenting things that I do in that group. And this month we're working on a mini Thankful album. So I thought I would show you guys how it got started. I just did a video there in, last night I did a little live video. We have one live workshop a month, and then we do lots of different things. So here's the very start of it, and I have this guy here, and then I took my photo for yesterday, and then today's photo is going to be Violet, because today is Violet's birthday. She's 9 years old. So I'm working on my mini album for this month, my Thankful album. And I love doing that. If you guys are interested, sorry guys, if you guys are interested in my membership group, I will put a link here in the description when I'm all done. And you will have 2 PDFs today because I'm going to do a separate PDF for each project. So then the product that we're going to use today, we'll start with the colorful card. I saw quite a few colorful comments. So we're going to use the Snowflake product here. This is the Snowflake Showcase items, and there's several different things that are in this. This is just released yesterday, and these supplies are only while supplies last. I got mine at the beginning of last month. As a demonstrator, we get to order basically a month earlier from customers, so I've had this for a month and I've used it a ton. So there is a stamp set. We're using this stamp set today. So there's this stamp set. There is this stamp set here, and then I don't have that one. And then there are these dies. So there's all these snowflake dies, and we're using a bunch of these dies. And then there's even more dies you can see on the back here. I just have the snowflake ones out. So there's those. Then there are teeny tiny little snowflake embellishments, and I have some of those. These are really beautiful. They have like a little gem in the middle of them. They're super pretty. So there's those. And I'm going to order a couple more of those to have on hand. That's these right here. And then there's some really fun velvet white paper, which feels different. I will tell you that. I have some of it and it feels a little bit different. I haven't done a lot of creating with it, but I did get some of it just to try it out. So I would really suggest getting the dies. These are dies I'm going to keep forever. I have wanted a set of thinlit snowflakes, framelit snowflakes forever. So I'm so glad that we came out with a really good set. There are 20 dies in this set. Let me see if I can get it up here to show you guys. And then that's also the item number. So these are only while supplies last, and I have a feeling they're going to go fast. So that is what we're using today. Several of you guys said, let's start with the colorful card. So the color combo that we're going to use for this card is going to be Whisper White, Old Olive, Melon Mambo, and then this one is, it's not powder pink, it is, was it powder pink? No, that cannot be right. Oh, maybe it is powder pink. You know, Flirty Flamingo might be better than, I think I've already committed. Oh yeah. We'll go ahead and do Melon Mambo, but Flirty Flamingo would work too. So that's going to be our color combo. And this is a fun color combo. It reminds me of like a snowflake wintry kind of color combo. It's not one of my favorite color combos, or I guess it's not one that I tend to be drawn to a ton. So what I did is I just cut my 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. I cut it in half at 4 1/4. And that is going to give us our A2 size card. So let's go ahead and fold this. And I'll just give it a good crease. And then what I'm going to do, I didn't think this through. Maybe we're just going to do, okay, I know what I'll do. Okay, so I'm going to grab a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock. So the difference between regular Whisper White cardstock and thick Whisper White cardstock. Oh, you know what? Let's not use thick Whisper White. Let's use shimmery white. Okay, so I have a piece of shimmery white here. I will tell you the difference between thick Whisper White cardstock and regular cardstock is just the weight. So the weight of our regular cardstock is 80 pounds, and then the thick Whisper White cardstock is 110 pounds. So it's a little bit thicker. That's why it's called thick Whisper White cardstock. So this, I don't know if you can tell, it has a very light shimmer to it. Okay. And it's also not as bright white. So I don't know if you can tell that either in this lighting. I can definitely tell it in person. It's a little bit more, it has a little bit more cream color to it. And it really picks up, like it already has like a little smudge on there. So this is going to be really simple. So we have our base and then we have our layer. Now our layer is going to be at 4 by 5 1/4. So it's going to layer really nicely. So then what I've done is I've cut Mary out of the pink cardstock, and it's much larger than I really thought it was. So it's this die right here, and it says Mary. And then I have some snowflakes here cut in our different colors. So now what I want to do is just grab my stamp set so we can stamp Christmas. So I'll need this stamp set. This, you can bundle these dies together. So there's several dies that go with this, and you can bundle it with the stamp set. So we will need Christmas. So I am going to have to adjust what I want to do here because I didn't realize this was going to be so big. So originally what I wanted was kind of Merry Christmas in the corner here. And then I wanted these snowflakes up in this corner. But that's not going to work because this is a really big, it's a much bigger die than I thought. And then Christmas is going to be pretty large. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and stamp on here first. And then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the dies. So, and I think I want to use my Stamparatus for this, because I really want this to be straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first attach Mary. And you know what I want to do with this, you guys? I think I'm going to cut Mary a couple more times. So I'm just going to step over to my Big Shot and I'm going to cut, maybe, I'm going to cut Mary like twice, 2 more times. And I would bring my Big Shot over there, but my desk is a mess with so many products because we're doing 2 cards today. So I'm just going to try to do this pretty quickly. So I'm just cutting this. And in my Big Shot, I have my magnetic plate. And then I also have my precision plate. And that is just so that I could make sure that the snowflakes get cut really well. Turn card. What does that mean? Turn it this, oh, you mean turn it this way. Okay, let's check that after I get this. So then let's just peel off Mary. If I would have thought of this, I would have already cut these. I want one more, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so I'm just cutting this one more time. And then we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to try it, Chris. Okay. So let me pop this out. I'm just using my, this is called a, what is this called? I don't remember right now. And now that's bugging me. What is this called? Piercing tool. That's what it's called. Okay. So I pulled all these out of the die. And if you don't like those little dots that you can get, I don't really see it. They're not really bad with this one. But if you get those little dots from being in the die itself, you can use your bone folder to soothe those. Oh, my word. To smooth them. I don't know if it will soothe the cardstock or not, but it will definitely smooth it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack these dies since this is so thin. I'm going to put some dots of glue. And I'm probably getting this all over my mat, so I'm gonna have to clean that before we move on. And then, so I really want to try this card. The idea that I have in my head, I really want to attempt it. But I'm going to tell you the truth here. This is annoying me. This is tedious. I'm feeling completely annoyed. And like, this is ridiculous. Somebody asked me if I would do a fun fold card. And I replied back and said, nope, not my kind of card. I like to keep it simple. And this is why, because I get so annoyed at this kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm just trying to line this up. This glue is so sticky. And then I'll use my bone folder. Let's see. Yeah, it is really great for smoothing out those dots. They don't tend to bother me, but I do know that I've gotten questions and I've seen comments like, how do I get those out of there? So that's how I do it. Okay, so now let's do this whole mess again where we add some glue and we stack this, and that's going to give us this die. Oh, good. My snowflake got caught. And you actually could do these with the snowflakes as well if you wanted them to be a little bit more stable. And this glue, really, a little tiny bit goes a long way. If you just do a couple dots, you know what? Why don't I just do this? Why don't I just put some on my finger? I mean, it's getting all over my fingers anyways. Oh yeah, that's gonna work better, and I'll just have to clean it up. Okay, so now let's pop these pieces. This one has a lot more dots in it than, like, from the die than the other ones did. Okay, so now let's try to get this lined up. The good thing about the liquid glue is you do have a little bit of room to, like, play with it and fiddle with it. What I don't like, what happens is when they get off just a tiny bit, and then you can totally tell that they're stacked. Okay. Let's press this down. Let's keep going. It's going to be worth it. The card is going to be so cute. Okay. See, like, I feel like this is, like, really off. Okay, I gotta get my hands clean because see the stickiness? Oh, it's causing a problem. Okay, let me see. Chris can tell I'm getting annoyed. She says, just breathe, you got this. She can tell I'm getting super annoyed. Oh my word. Okay, see, like, I don't like the way this has stacked. So we'll just fiddle with it a little bit. That glue is gonna give us a little bit of time. And I don't know what the deal with this piece is. It's like it didn't. I don't like it when it looks shadowed, but that is something else that you can do is you can stack these with different colors and then make them slightly off a tiny bit, and it gives this really fun shadowed look. If that's the look you're going for. So then I feel like probably part of the problem, did this glue, like, yeah, see that one didn't glue very well. So let's just put a little bit of glue. I'm trying to stay committed, you guys. Okay. What dots are you guys talking about? Okay, so let me see if I can find one on here. Okay, so on the die, when you, let's see here. There's the die. Do you see these holes right here? Sometimes when you run your dies through your Big Shot, what will happen is you will get an impression on your die of those dots. This got all funky over here, you guys. So you know what I'm going to do? This is what we do when I get annoyed. Done. Look at that. Look how well that fixed it. Awesome. So sometimes you can get those little dots, and if you just take a bone folder and you press on it, it will take those off. So I don't feel like I did a great job lining these up, but we're just gonna move on. Okay, so we're gonna turn the card like Chris said. And let's think about this. So we have our Mary. Okay, Chris was right. Just listen to Chris. Okay. So what I'm thinking... Does that look straight, guys? I think so. Oh, good. More of this liquid glue we have to use. And I feel like this isn't glued very good. Okay. There we go. Okay, now let's do glue on here. I promise this is the most tedious part of this card. And this wasn't even my original idea to stack these. So if you don't stack them, this card is super simple. So I'm just using my mat here. And then I'm going to set that down. Okay. Now let me clean off this bone folder while we wait a minute. That's just adding pressure to that so it'll stick down. And then we're going to be done with this card in like 2 seconds. Okay. That's fun. Okay, ready? So we're pretty good. So now I'm wondering, okay, let's use the Stamparatus. Just because that was a lot of work, and if I mess this up at this point in the game, it will not be pretty. So let's use our Stamparatus. So I'm going to grab a piece of the grid paper because I want to be able to line this up. Okay. So we'll put our piece in here, and then we're going to add our magnets. And then we're going to take the stamp and I feel like, do you think that's straight? I feel like it might not be. Okay, does that look straight? Okay. I don't like the the Big Shot die brush. I don't like it. I don't think it does anything. Either I'm using it wrong, or I don't understand, or mine doesn't work or something. I don't know. I think it's the biggest piece of garbage I ever bought. So maybe I'm not using it right, or maybe mine is defective, but it's never ever, I don't even have it out anymore. That's how much I like I felt done with it. So does everybody see how I did that? I just inked up Christmas, and I still feel like it came out crooked, but at least it's stamped really well. Okay, so remember we have our card base, and we're going to add this to our card base. And we can probably do that because the stamping is done. Hey, Kimberly. I'm glad yours works for you, because I haven't even talked about it since I got it, because I got it and just felt like it didn't, I didn't understand it. So I'm glad that it works for you, and it's not ruining your dies when you're using it. I don't like to talk about things like products, even if it's a Stampin' Up! Product. If it doesn't work for me, or I don't maybe understand the best way to use it. It's like the punch boards. Chris loves them, and every time she does something with one of the punch boards, I end up having to have it. But I went to try to do a project with that today. I thought, oh, I'll use this new punch board I got. And I got it out and got immediately frustrated and was like, I don't understand this, so I'm not talking about it. Because I feel like if somebody else got it based on a project I did or something, and then they asked me a question and I couldn't answer it, or, you know, I always want to be honest with you guys with what I'm using and why I'm using it. So that is why I haven't really used the die brush, or I haven't really talked about it, because it just didn't work for me. And not everything works for everybody. The Fast Fuse never really worked for me. It wasn't an adhesive that I really liked. But I know lots of you guys loved it. Oh yeah, Chris, I put that thing away this morning, and I was like, I'm not touching this again until Chris is here. Because I immediately got frustrated. I was like, I don't understand this. This is too much work. I can't do it. Which isn't good, right? But I just can't do it. I can with Chris's help. So now I have these snowflakes, and I've cut them in the 3 colors, the powder pink and the olive green. And I'm just popping the little pieces out. They pop out really easy, especially if you use the precision cutting plate. You shouldn't have any problem with it. Okay, so I want 3 of these snowflakes, and definitely turning the card. That was a great suggestion, Chris, and that was the key. So I think what I want is the larger green one. And all of these don't have to be punched out perfect. If you're already frustrated from stacking the Mary die a million times. And my hands are sticky. But you just want to use a little something. The other thing that I do is I use a little brush, like a paintbrush. This is for my... Okay. And this color combo is really pretty. And you know what it reminds me of is using my Cricut. There's a Cricut cartridge, and it's a winter cartridge. And like the theme of the... oh, I want this little tiny one. The theme of the dies are kind of in this color scheme. These are really delicate, so you do want to be careful, because I can tell that if I got too aggressive with this. And oops, there's one piece. And I'm not even going to try to pop these up or anything. I really am just going to, I'm going to start with the larger one, because then I'm going to layer. This one piece is like, does not want to move on. Come on, buddy, move on, dude. You're not wanted here. You are not wanted on this project. So I didn't even do the whole thing because I want the edges of this die to kind of pop up off my card base. How are you guys doing? I'm like, I got to pay attention to comments too here. Okay, here's a white snowflake we're going to use on our next project. Okay, so just a little bit in the middle. And I want to overlap. I want things a little bit overlapped. And then the melon mambo. I'm going to overlap that one. Like we'll overlap it over the pink and we'll overlap the green. And of course, the middle of a snowflake definitely needs a rhinestone. That is the law. When you do a snowflake, you do a rhinestone in the middle. Okay, so we'll do a rhinestone there. We'll do a rhinestone here. Okay, so now the question is, you guys, do I leave it alone or do I keep going? Hi, Angie. Hey, Susan. So I haven't got to play with my Nuvo dots in a while. Here's all the ones that I have collected. And look, we have some pink. What about some just crystal ones? I have some, I have to sneeze. Sorry, guys. That's gray. I have white, but I thought I had some crystal, like clear crystal. Don't I have clear crystal? That's just clear. I have pale white. Oh, this ivory shell. See, I clearly do not have enough colors. Clearly do not have enough. What do you guys think? Let me see. My mom says stop. Mom, I can't. If I had a pink, that would go really well. Maybe that's too much pink. There's gold. Okay, I think I'm just going to do some white. This is simply white. This is pretty, but I feel like it's too pink. Wouldn't that be cool if Stampin' Up! Came out with Nuvo drops that matched Stampin' Up! Colors? So one of the many reasons I love Stampin' Up! Is I love that everything matches. Like I can get ribbon, cardstock, ink, you know, sometimes embellishments all in the same color. So I can get, you know, everything in Melon Mambo if I need it. So I would love it if we had Nuvo drops that were the same colors as SU colors. Okay, then I'll stop. I feel like maybe one more. I feel like that's not even. Ha-ha. So pretty, right? Can you guys see the light is glaring off my phone and I can't see. Okay, so that was the colorful one, and great tip, Chris, in turning the card, because this is exactly my vision for the card. But it would not have worked this way if we would have done it this way. So great tip, Chris. And then you can see that it's a little bit raised. And there's a slight color difference between the shimmery white and the whisper white, which is good. So I'm going to set this aside because those Nuvo drops definitely need to dry. So now let's do our Bermuda Bay one, which I was thinking that this Bermuda Bay one was going to be my favorite. But I'm thinking now that that colorful one is going to be my favorite. Okay, so we need a card base. And I'm just taking a nail file and cleaning up the edge of my cardstock. And then I am going to take my bone folder. That's nice and clean now. I need to put Kayla to work. I need her to come clean all my blocks and all my tools. Okay, so then I'm going to need a piece of the Bermuda Bay. And we're going to do a really simple layer. So I'm just going to cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. And this is going to give me a really simple layer. So the card base is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then our card layer is 5 1/4 by 4. Oh, good. I'm glad. Copy away, you guys. I get some emails sometimes where somebody will say, is it okay to case your card? Or can I make the same design? And of course, that's why I do this. That is absolutely 100% why I do this. I want you guys to do that. So we're going to do some embossing, and we're going to do some fun embossing. So I have some silver embossing powder, and we're going to have to use the heat tool. And what I've done is I have this snowflake that I cut out. It's one of the bigger ones. And I cut this out in Whisper White cardstock. So now for this technique that we're going to do, we do need all of these pieces to pop out. So I'm hoping that this cut really well and that these will pop out. And you're going to want to make sure you pull all of these pieces out. These, I thought, oh good, they're not going to be a problem. I was thinking they might be. They just look like it, but sometimes you can tell by the way the die cuts. Like I can tell this one might be a problem. That maybe it didn't cut all the way through. This, when I was cutting the white ones, I was not using my precision plate. I was just using my magnetic platform and then the clear plates in my Big Shot. And when I looked at this snowflake, I kind of immediately knew I needed to shake it up. Either I needed to put a shim in so that it would create more pressure, or I needed the precision plate. Oh, I hope this is going to be okay. I think I only cut one this size. And I really, for this project, I need all of these to come out. Sometimes, depending on the project you're doing, you don't need all the pieces to come out. If you're going to layer it on something, sometimes you don't need that. But for this one particular, this technique we're going to do, we need all these pieces out. Oh, my mom always has to fix my grandpa lunch right in the middle of these. Tell him to just wait. That wouldn't go over well with him. Okay. So all of my pieces are out. So you can see that. How pretty is this, you guys? I just love it. Okay, so we have our card base. And then what we have is our card layer in Bermuda Bay, which is my favorite. Hey, Sarah, it's my favorite Stampin' Up! Color. Okay. So what we're going to do, I just have a tray here. And then I have a Versamark ink pad, which is just a very sticky ink. And I need a scratch piece of paper probably. I'll use this pink one. Can you guys see okay? Okay. Yeah, he can hear you. Well, tell him to wait. Tell him I'm busy. Okay, so I'm going to take the snowflake and I'm going to press it in. Tell him to fix his own lunch. That wouldn't go over well either. Okay, so I'm pressing the whole snowflake into this ink. And it's just going to get it sticky. What you can do also is you can do it this way, where you press it down. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to put it in the tray. And then you're going to take whatever embossing powder you have. You could do this with any color. I'm going to do it with silver. I'm going to get that nice and coated. Now, you may have to do this more than once because here's the deal. See how it took off a little bit? So what I'm going to do is plug in my heat tool. Everybody still with me? I'm not going to be in trouble. I'm 4 hours away. My mom says I'm going to get us in trouble by telling my grandpa to make his own lunch, but I'm 4 hours away, so I can't get in trouble. Okay, so see this? So let's heat up the heat tool. So this is my heat tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this heat up. And you just let it run for a minute, and this is going to get very, very hot. So I'm going to need my little poker here, my piercing tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke kind of right where my hand touched, and then we're going to melt the embossing powder. And you can see right away it starts to melt. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to fix that one little corner. So we just do that by pressing it in the ink and then adding some powder to it. And you could actually do this quite a few times to get an embellishment. So I'm just going to heat this piece. Okay. So does everybody see that? How pretty that is? Oh, that didn't. Let me heat this again. Okay. So how pretty is this? Oh my gosh, you guys. It's gorgeous. Can you guys see this? So it makes it a little bit thicker, and that's why we wanted all of the pieces out of the middle of our snowflake, because this, you don't want the powder, it'll stick to any of the little pieces that are still in there. So this came out really perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this wipe and I'm going to wipe down this area and then give it just a minute to dry. And that just gets all the powder up. It is really beautiful. So I just want to dry this really quick. Okay, so we're still going to need the embossing powder. So here's what our card's going to look like. Let me see here. Well, I don't think I need a piece of scratch paper. So now let's use our stamp set. And this is the stamp set we're going to use. And I think I want to use this sentiment. So it's going to say, Merry Christmas to you and peace on earth to all the world. And this is a photopolymer stamp, so that's super nice. We're going to be able to see right through it. And you can see my cardstock, it started to kind of curl because my surface is wet. So now what I want to do is take the powder tool. So this has powder in it, and we're going to prep the cardstock just like that. And then we're going to use, oops, what does this say? Each snowflake is beautiful, sparkly, and special. Okay, let's use this one instead. I grabbed the wrong sentiment, but actually that works out better. So let's grab our clear block, and then we're going to use our Versamark. We're going to ink that up, and then hopefully this is straight, but I'm just going to go directly to my cardstock, and then I'm going to press it down, And I'm trying to press very gently. I don't want to smush it down or this embossed look isn't going to be great. So let's bring our piece over here. I love this tray. This is called a snappy tray. And I got it on Amazon and I love it. I will link that as well. So I think I did a pretty good job of getting this straight. So now let's turn on our heat tool. And the reason you let it heat up for just a minute is so that it's completely hot, and when you put it onto your project, it begins melting the embossing powder right away and it doesn't warp your card. So we'll melt this. And then you can go up under your cardstock too. Mine warped a little bit. And I feel like this is a little bit... It's a little bit slanted. So it says each snowflake is beautiful, sparkly, and special, just like you. Okay? So then what we're going to do is we're going to put the snowflake right here in the middle. And so actually what I'm thinking... I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to restamp that because I want it up a tiny bit.